There's no other trip like this. Fewer people have been to Titanic than have been to space.
It's not a ride at Disney, you know. There's a lot of real risk involved, and there's a lot of challenges.
A submersible vessel which takes people to see the wreck of the Titanic has gone missing in the Atlantic Ocean.
US and Canadian Coast Guards have launched a search and rescue mission after a tourist submersible lost contact on its way down to the Titanic shipwreck.
The location of the search is approximately 900 miles east of Cape Cod.
With each passing second, worries are mounting for the 5 people on board the missing Titan.
This morning, search crews racing against time to find that missing submersible.
In consultation with experts from within the Unified Command, the debris is consistent with the catastrophic loss.
The submersible was all set to be merged with 5 passengers aboard. But then they decided to wait for a few more hours. Titan submersible kicks off a 2-hour descent to the Titanic wreck, which lies at a depth of about 13,000 feet in the North Atlantic Ocean. Communications between the submersible and the surface vessel are lost an hour and 45 minutes after starting its descent. Submersible Titan fails to appear on the ocean surface at the time it was scheduled to return. And then began the search operation, creating panic among the Ocean Gate team and the loved ones of those on board.
It is a challenge to conduct a search in that remote area, but we are deploying all available assets.
As it stands right now, it would be a miracle if they are recovered alive.
Sounds detected over several hours by Canadian Lockheed P-3 Orion aircraft, equipped with gear to trace submarines.
The Canadian P-3 detected underwater noises in the search area. As a result, ROV operations were relocated in an attempt to explore the origin of the noises. The data from the P-3 aircraft has been shared with our U.S. Navy experts for further analysis, which will be considered in future search plans.
Remotely operated vehicle searches are directed to the area of the sounds and the data sent to U.S. Navy experts for analysis. This was the estimated time for the oxygen in the vessel to run out, and there was no sign of the vessel till then. A debris field was found near the wreckage of the Titanic in the North Atlantic, containing the pieces of the Titan submersible.
This morning, an ROV, or remote operated vehicle, from the vessel Horizon Arctic discovered the tail cone of the Titan submersible approximately 1,600 feet from the bow of the Titanic on the seafloor. The ROV subsequently found additional debris. In consultation with experts from within the Unified Command, the debris is consistent with the catastrophic loss of the pressure chamber.
It was in 2021 when OceanGate's Titan became a ride for the paying tourists to visit the historical wreck site of the Titanic ship, which met its tragic end in 1912. The depth of the wreck is believed to be 5 times the height of world's tallest building, Burj Khalifa. So how big was the Titan submersible? Titan was a 22 feet long vessel weighing 10.4 tons. The vessel also had a viewport on its one end for witnessing the scenic beauty of ocean life down there. Titan could accommodate 5 passengers at once, 1 pilot, 1 crew and 3 tourists, leaving no space for free movement. A modified Logitech F710 wireless controller was used to operate the vessel. Was the game controller, which is available on Amazon for merely $20, responsible for this catastrophic explosion, or was the design the problem? Its experimental design included a carbon fiber hull as its material, which many believe was fundamentally flawed.
Now there's one wreck lying next to the other wreck for the same damn reason. I knew what happened. Sub imploded. I sent emails to everybody I know. I said, we've lost some friends. The sub has imploded. It's on the bottom in pieces right now. I sent that out Monday morning. I never believed in that technology of wound carbon fiber, wound filament, cylindrical hull. I thought it was a horrible idea. There was a lot of concern about this outfit and this sub. A lot of concern, even to the extent that I wasn't involved in it because I was making Avatar 2 at the time, but a lot of them got together and wrote a letter to OceanGate and said, you have to certify. You cannot take people down. It's irresponsible, and it could lead to catastrophe. Literally, the word catastrophe is in the letter.
We said the same thing that people have said when there's been tragedies in space is, yeah, let's figure out what went wrong, let's learn lessons, and let's get down there again. If anything, what we're feeling is an even stronger imperative to continue doing this kind of exploration work. I think it's important for humanity, and it's probably the best way to honor the 5 crew members who gave up their lives doing something that they loved.
So how much do you think the exhilarating experience costs? As of 2022, being a passenger on an OceanGate expedition to the Titanic shipwreck costs $250,000 US, which is more than 2 crores in Indian currency. And who all had all that money and greater than life adventure spirit? Titan vessel had 5 people on board: Shehzada Daud and son Suleiman Daud. The Dauds were among the wealthiest families of Pakistan and were citizens of Britain. Hamish Harding, British billionaire and chairman of aviation company Action Aviation. Harding made an Instagram post too before the descent. Paul Henry Garguillet, former commander in the French Navy, he was both a deep diver and a minesweeper. Paul was also the director of underwater research company that owns the rights to the Titanic wreck. Stockton Rush, the founder and CEO of the vessel's US-based operating company OceanGate. was also on board the submersible. Rush was a dreamer, an adventurer, but his adventure cost him a lifetime, with some believing because he ignored the warning signs various experts kept on alarming him about. This is a mail trail between Rob McCallum, an expedition leader, and Rush over the safety concerns of the passengers in OceanGate vessels. March 2018, Rob McCallum wrote to Rush, "You are potentially putting an entire industry at risk." Days later, Rush replied, "I'm tired of industry players who try to use safety argument to stop innovation." McCallum, putting an end to the mail trail, wrote, "Ironically, in your race to Titanic, you are mirroring that famous catch cry, 'She is unsinkable.'"
He was very risk averse. He was very keenly aware of the risks of operating in a deep ocean environment, and he was very committed to safety. I believe that every innovation that he took, whether it was engineering or operations or even personnel-wise for us, was, at least in the early going and then after I left the company, was geared toward two goals. One is expanding humanity's ability to explore the deep oceans.
How did the catastrophic implosion happen? It is being believed that a fairly early implosion brought a painless demise to the ones on board. Implosions happen when objects are under significant pressure, and the same happened with Titan. The deeper it went, the stronger the pressure built within the sea, causing the carbon fiber to implode in a fraction of a second. This wasn't the first, but the fifth expedition led by OceanGate. Those who have been on one have been vocal enough too.
Also das Gefühl in der Titan drin ist schon beklemmend.
The feeling inside Titan can be nightmarish. 5 people are sitting inside close together. You must not be claustrophobic. Feet tangled, it is that tight. There are no seats. You sit on your back. You cannot crouch. You cannot stand. You sit the whole time. Our dive took about 10.5 hours. It is very narrow. You must not be frightened. Otherwise, you will not endure it.
Du darfst keine Angst haben, du darfst null Platzangst haben, sonst hältst du das nicht aus.
Mexican travel YouTuber Alan Estrada rode the Titan Submersible in 2022.
Oigan chicos, este es mi primer encuentro con Titán. Este es Titán, el único sumergible de su tipo en el mundo que puede albergar a 5 personas.
As tragedy unfolds itself, Alan recalls what it was like being inside the vessel.
Transmission from this.
No.
Yeah. What's weird is I'm getting pressure.
His expedition in 2022 was almost aborted after losing contact with its surface support ship.
Lo que nos pasó a nosotros es que si pierdes comunicación,
if you lose communication, there is a tolerance period. If that communication is not recovered, within that time, you have to abort the mission. We lost communication at a depth of 3,000 feet. The tolerance time passed and we were already aborting the mission. In fact, the first ballast was dropped, and just at that time we recovered communication and we did not lose it anymore. And that's why we were able to make the descent.
En ese momento recuperamos comunicación y ya no la perdimos, y fue por eso que pudimos.
While some may think that the deep water expedition shouldn't be continued after the incident, there are some who see it growing ever more.
In a submersible, you're in a sort of large cylinder, you're looking out of a relatively small porthole. You know, there's questions about how much intrinsic value there is in that. When we can instrument robotic platforms with cameras and other sensors to really help us understand these environments, But I suspect we will continue to see this sort of industry grow.
The fact is, Titanic isn't timeless. The history is corroding itself and falling prey to the bacteria that's eating its metal. The shipwreck might vanish completely by 2030. The tragedy might deter some, but the awe-inspiring beauty of the opulent ship will keep charming expeditioners till the last of the remain exists.